Hey folks, this is man once again, coming at you, I know Chester, for a review of Safe, new Jason Statham film from 2012. Directed by Boaz Yakin, who has been hit and miss. As a writer, he has written, because he wrote and directed this film, he wrote the 1989 The Punisher, The Rookie from 1990 with Charlie Sheen, Clint Eastwood, From Dusk Till Dawn 2, which I actually do enjoy. But he also wrote Prince of Persia. And he directed Remember the Titans, Uptown Girls, a few others, including this film. Stars Jason Statham, and I will say, at the end of the day, I liked this film. I actually did enjoy it. It has its problems, which I'll get to, which if fixed, it would have been awesome. But, it's definitely not as good as Transporter 1 and 2 or Crank 1 and 2. But I will say this film is definitely better than The Mechanic or The Killer Elite or The Bane Job. I'm not a fan of The Bane Job. I got bored from The Bane Job. Maybe I see it again, give it another chance, but it's definitely better than Killer Elite or uh, The Mechanic, which was not a fan of those two films. Real quick, like the Killer Elite, The Mechanic, I think I did a review for You Know Why. The Killer Elite, I could go on all day about that, but right off the bat, false advertising. You think it's an action-packed film? It's not. But this film, I probably liked better than I know my friend Effrey had seen this film. He didn't hate it, but at the same time, eh. But I probably liked it a little bit more than him because pretty much the story is you have Jason Statham, and throughout the film, you learn more about his backstory, where he was after. I think after 9/11, there was a group of people who got together. And you have the mayor, played by Chris Sarandon. Chris Sarandon's in this as the mayor. You have the captain, played by Robert John Burke, which I'd rather watch him here than RoboCop 3, which that sucked. And a few people got together. Sure, they pretty much took care of the trash, and they brought, like, the mayor brought an outsider in, and that was Jason Statham to clean shit up. But Jason Statham quit, and he got tired of it, the killing, these thugs and stuff. So he went into becoming a cage fighter. And the main reason being is he wanted to basically let people pummel him, serve to retribution for, the people he's, taken care of, the scumbags he's taken care of. But he has sort of a conscience. That's why he quit. Because there's even a line down that says that he always loses his fights. And that's why, because he lets them win. Until this one point where these Russian dudes, it's their fault. They fucking put in a guy, and I guess he punched the guy one time, and the guy like got into a coma or something. And they wanted Jason Statham to go down, and it's like, Russian dudes, are you fucking morons? Why? Oh, but he's a YouTube guy. I'm like, you don't put a. I don't need. That's like putting me in a UFC fight. I don't give a fuck if the guy's taking a dive or not. You don't do it. It's fucking stupid. So you deserve to get your money taken. But then one thing leads to another, and they want retribution on Jason Statham, so they kill his woman, his wife, and they say that we don't keep watch on you, and whoever you even come into contact with and talk for just a few minutes, we don't take care of them. So you don't be destitute, you probably don't think of suicide, and until the day that you do, we don't be following you, we don't be watching you. Which, you think about, is pretty, that's a lot of time on their hands, It's like, instead of just putting a bullet in the guy, I mean, on one hand, I appreciate it because it's really fucked up. It is a really fucked up thing to do to someone, even though it's really their own damn fault. And, it seems like a lot of effort to do that, to follow someone. But it definitely helps with feeling sorry for Jason Statham. This is a character that you do feel sorry for. At the same time, you have this Chinese girl called May who is kidnapped. And first, the triads, they want her to be a counter because she can memorize numbers very well. And then the Russians grab her, And one thing, at least in the triads, deal with the crooked cops, those are the same guys that Jason Statham used to be with. Um, it was part of the team, and then they became crooked, and Jason Statham kind of turned them in, and that's how, Jason Statham went from there to, because he wanted to quit, and he turned them in because they were doing some heinous shit. Um, so the tries hire those guys to find the girl, and the girl escapes, and that's where you get to where you see in the trailer where Jason Statham's in the subway thinking about suicide, but he sees the girl and follows her, realizes she's in trouble, and then kicks everybody's ass. Now, right off the bat, the problems with this film, the first 30 minutes are the problem with this film. And the ending, like the last 5-10 minutes, a little bit weak, which I'll get to, but it didn't kill the film for me. A little bit weak, but its main problem is the first 30 minutes. Because it's like you take the first 30 minutes, tell a linear story, then cut it, and then just blend it together. So this scene goes here, this goes here, let's swap these, let's put these here, this goes here, and then this goes here. The first 30 minutes are a mess, and I think if Boaz Yakin had done it in a more linear structure, maybe it's him trying to do something different, but it didn't really work out well, because it starts out with the girl and Jason Statham in the subway. Then it cuts to the girl with the Russians. And then it cuts to her being kidnapped by the triads. And then it cuts to Jason Statham. And then it goes really quick to he's in a cage fight. You don't see him fight. He's about ready to throw a punch. Then it cuts to him and something in the emergency room. Then it cuts to him in the casino. Then it cuts back to the girl with the triads. Then maybe a little bit later back to the Russians. And then to the triads paying the cops to find the girl. And then cuts back to Jason. See how confusing it sounds? I mean, can I understand it? Yes, but at the same time, it's very utterly confusing. It's very sporadic. It really did not need to be that way. Because it's like, okay, you didn't Jason Statham. Nope, now you have to wait to the go. Nope, now it's before. It's really jumbled mess. So the first 30 minutes, I'm like, man, this is a piece of shit. Come on. The only thing that kept me going is that Jason Statham, I like him. I'm a fan of his, and he played a likable guy that you felt sorry for. But what saves this film is when it gets to the point, Jason Statham in the subway sees the girl, helps her, and to be honest, if you took that 30 minutes and put it down to say 15, 17, say 17 or so minutes of just either just stick with Jason Statham and then tell a little bit of what the girl went through. She was kidnapped, the counter, or just have like, you know, tell the girl and then go to Jason Statham, and then you cut to the girl escaping and Jason Statham at the subway, and then boom. You don't have to be like all over the place with that. I think they did a poor job with that. But what saves the film, like I said, is from then on it's just constant action. And I know one thing my friend Effie was talking about, how he sometimes shoots people. He just shoots like this, but you don't see the impact. Didn't really bother me. I guess because I'm used to with Jason Statham films, the Transporter 1 and 2. Those are PG-13 films. So I'm not really, I'm kind of used to it. And plus, I'd rather do that than fucking CGI blood. And you do see some people get hit with bullet squibs, so you do see that. But I thought the fight scenes and the action scenes were fucking cool. They're it became then the next hour pretty much, or let's say the next 30, 40, 50 minutes of the film, action, action, action. Yeah, I'd say like about 40, about 40 or so minutes of the film, 50 minutes of just that, like, he kicks those Russians' ass in the subway and shoots the motherfucker who killed his wife. He gets to the girl and they get in a car chase. Then you can follow me, do whatever. Girl follows him. They get into this hotel. The triads get in there. He shoots the shit out of them. He kicks their fucking ass. Then he gets out. He's chased by the cops. and then he calls. He's able to find where the Russians are. He goes in, fucks their shit, fucking them up. He, like, during the action scenes, he's doing cool stuff. He gets a guy, does a fucking suplex on the motherfucker. He goes and jumps and jams right into the fucking table. Crack. Hold the table to the guy. Poo, 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 poo. He's shooting the shit, kicking everybody's ass. He's fucking. Then he's like, hey, he fucked up pretty much most of the Russians. He has the Russian mobster's son. He's like, okay, you better not fuck with me or I'll, kill him. We have a deal. I'll fuck you up. You fuck with me, I'll kill I'll mess up your life. And you believe Jason Statham at this point. Like, holy shit, this guy's kicking a lot of ass. So you believe it. Then you realize he's got to go. The numbers that this girl memorized is dealing with a safe. One is really two safes. One has a bunch of money. One has a disc which has some shit on it. So like and once in a while he actually fucks with the cops who were kicking shit out of him before in the first 30 minutes of the film. And he knows he's got to get in there safe and sound, so he calls them up, people he used to work for, the crooked cops, and says, I don't like you, you don't like me, but you know what? He burns his note. This code is now in my head. You gotta walk my ass in there safely. You try to shoot me, try to fuck me, you don't get the 30, I think it's like 30 million bucks. So I like that. He basically got these guys around his fucking finger. So it's always like they have to be a bodyguard for Jason Statham. He goes in, they're shooting the shit. He's shooting people, fucking them up. He gets in the thing, fucks up some triads. He goes in. I like this part where he's about ready to do it. Then he, of course, put your guns on the ground. He's about ready to do it, and it's like a fucking Wild West showdown. Grabs it. So I like that. And fucks them up. And long story short, what he does is fucks them up, gets the captain guy, Robert John Burke, ties him up along with the Russian mobster's son, and because he wants the little girl. Then he calls the mayor, Chris Sarandon, and his butt boy, this guy with the glasses. I'm not sure who the actor's name is. He's off to go to the triads because it changed the safe numbers because that guy doesn't know what's going on, that Jason Statham now has the money. And this guy, like, he gets to the triads, he saves the girl, and he fucks him up, and that surprised the shit out of me. Like, this nerdy guy with the glasses, he does it really well. Like, and then this is where I said the ending's a little bit weak, where the guy and Jason Statham meet up to exchange. And so I guess we'll have to handle this the old-fashioned way. They're about ready to fight, but then the little Chinese girl shoots the bad guy, and Jason Statham finishes the job. I thought, kind of weak. I would have liked to have seen, a final fight. I mean, it makes sense, the girl, shooting the guy, but I still would have liked, a fight. I think that still would have been nice. But it is what it is. If I like Blitz, which that has less action than this film, I enjoyed Blitz. So I put this on the same level as Blitz. Like, you have the Great Transporter 1 and 2, Crank 1 and 2. Then I put Safe and Blitz kind of underneath that as the not great but good ones, and then Killer Lead Mechanic and Kiss My Ass. So basically they have copies of this disc, so that's why he lets the Russian son go, because that way the Russian mob isn't going to war to him, and mainly for the girl. He even says it's for the girl. So he fulfilled his part of the deal, so he lets the Russian, because is an honest guy as well, so that way the Russians won't fuck. He killed pretty much all the Russians, so it's mainly the mobster and the son. So they'll leave him the fuck alone. Robert John Byrne will go back to Chris Sarandon and leave him the fuck alone. It's like, and he even pays him, here's $50,000, leave me the fuck alone. Because that guy's all about greedy, and there's no reason for him to go after Jason Statham. He's going to get the fuck out of there. And so they're going to be, and they're going to be the heroes or whatever. Jason's like, fuck it, you go right ahead. And him and the girl, they don't be friends, and they'll head out of town. And oh yeah, you have James Hahn as head of the triads. I just I like this film. I mean, the first 30 minutes are really what weigh this film down. And that and the ending. If the ending had a really one final badass fight between Jason Statham and this guy who seemed pretty fast, although maybe you couldn't buy that guy fighting Jason Statham, maybe that's why. But if you had one final fight, and then the first 30 minutes be like condensed or more linear, those two things much better. But the rest of it, really, after that first 30 minutes, if you can hold out through it, the next hour is badass Jason Statham action, fucking people up. I really like the fight scenes. It's plentiful. It was fast paced. Jason Statham was good. He was likable. It's nice to see. Oh, cool. There's James Hahn. Cool. There's Chris Sarandon. Nice to see them a little bits. Um, Chris Sarandon does more here than the Fright Night remake. Know that. He's better here than the Fright Night remake. So yeah, I mean, not great. It's not one of his best ones, but pretty entertaining. Like if it was out of 5 stars, he would give it 3. Maybe 3.5 out of 5 stars. Because again, it's short. It's 80 some minutes without the end credits. But if they fix the first 30 minutes and the last fight actually have it happen, the little girl, she was alright, But that's the thing. The first 30 minutes, her story wasn't really the most interesting. Maybe if they just stuck with Jason Statham or, whatever, or condensed it instead of 30 minutes, it's like 15, 17 minutes or something, or more linear, maybe it would have helped. But what really saves it again is from the next, pretty much, other than the last 5 minutes or so, pretty much just Jason Statham kicking everybody's ass. The triads, the Russians, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. This is really entertaining. All right, that's all I want. I want to be entertained, and I got entertained a lot in this film after the first 30 minutes. So I give it, one thumb up. Crane films, transport films, I give them 2 thumbs up. This I would give 1 thumb up. It's decent, entertaining Jason Statham film. Just get through the first 30 minutes. I know it's a lot because it's a lot of a part of a film, but I can deal with sometimes lousy beginnings as long as you entertain me sometime and you entertain me enough over this line, then okay. But yeah, decent film. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later. Ciao.